Welcome to Deep Relaxation. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Library CCPL. Enjoy class.
Thank you so much, Buff, for that warm introduction. Namaste. Hello, everyone. My name is Bryan Nupp, and I'm so pleased and honored to be here to share our ongoing deep relaxation series through the Eldersburg Library. I'm just going to share a few thoughts and some of my intentions for tonight's class. Again, as we mentioned a few moments ago, please have a yoga block or something that can support you in some restorative poses later. 2 blocks is great, but 1 will work. If you also have a fitness band or a strap, or even like a belt or something that you could use, we're going to use something like that as well in tonight's class. So we're really going to call on some external props to really help prop us up and support us. So I'm just going to share some of my intentions for the class. As I do, please find your way into a comfortable seated position, which is where we'll start. So as I sat down to ask, what is it that I want to focus on in class tonight, or what is it that just feels so relevant? The very first thing that came to my heart and mind was gratitude. And gratitude is almost kind of become this cliche thing that is just around us all the time, with inspirational quotes and t-shirts and even like memes. And it's really such a simple practice, but it's as powerful as anything else that I can really think of. It's such a beautiful and pure practice just to pause and experience gratitude for this miracle of life in our being and being present. So simply gratitude. And so I'm asking, how can I work and offer gratitude as a reminder in this deep relaxation practice? And the thing that really comes to mind, at least in my style of practice with yoga and some elements of qigong and some other just kind of my interpretations of mindful movements, is this balance between movement and stillness. And we have these elements of movement and stillness in us all the time. It happens at the space in between the breath. And it happens sometimes when we're stretching and holding a pose, or if we're even working our way into a counter stretch or just exploring some movements to balance them out. So we're going to kind of play with gratitude in motion as an intention. So even as you just right now, let's do it together, reach your hands out and around you, just feel like you're encompassing this great orb of gratitude. And feel that gratitude with your movement and the in-breath specifically. And now we're going to focus on that element of letting go and releasing, that element in yoga called pranayama, or selfless surrender, with our exhalation. And I hope that we can do this moment by moment, again and again, over our next bit of time tonight. So that's really the intention. I have some ideas for some stretches, some joint freeing series, and more heart opening. I'd like to work into some restorative elements as well. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So if you're already in that comfortable seat, I want you to turn your hands up and then exhale completely. One of my teachers always used to tell us that you always clean the teapot out before you serve fresh tea in it. And so that really stuck with me, that when opening up this sacred space for our practice, it's always great to set an intention and then clear that space. That doesn't mean having to necessarily push anything down or away, but it really means just setting a really clear and firm intention, separating this space that we create into a space that is full of that intention. So we must create this perimeter of intention that we can practice. And then we can take that with us. So with our intention set to explore gratitude and movement and release and letting go and stillness, I inhale and reach my head and heart to the sky. Feel that fresh rush of air in as my chest and diaphragm expands. After a pause, I exhale and feel my shoulders and arms, my whole being soften. Again, I breathe in deeply, feeling that breath reach into the depths of my belly, feeling my heart open as the chest lifts and expands. Surrender the outbreath through a brief pause. Pause after your exhalation. Observe that vacuum-like stillness and emptiness in between breaths. Now let's bring the movement into it. As you inhale, feel the heart lift. Really bring your energy into that heart area. And as you exhale, feel the core engage and feel your lower belly lift up as you gently rock back on your sitting bones. And again, as you inhale, feel that string, that imaginary string pulling the crown of the head up as the heart lifts, breathing in. Then exhaling, rocking back on the sitting bones, scooping the pelvis and the belly forward, breathing out. Inhale, you can even express yourself through your hands. Another teacher of mine once said that our hands are an expression of our hearts, and that energy in our hearts moves down and out the shoulders and arms through our hands. Exhaling, bring the energy back into that space right underneath the belly. Inhale, feel the chest lift. Good. Continue just like that. Now that we've cleared the space, I'm going to further set the intention by chanting Om 3 times. You're welcome to join. Exhaling completely, inhaling quickly. Either staying with the movement, the rocking and breathing, or hold as you chant with your hands at heart center. Exhaling again, inhaling for that second. Exhaling for that third and final. Exhaling, bring the hands together in front of the chest. Bow the head towards the heart. Take a few breaths and allow mind, heart, and intention to evolve. Good. We're going to proceed onto our hands and knees into a kneeling tabletop position. Now, if you have sensitive knees, or if you just need some extra support for the knees, please feel free to fold up your mat or use a blanket now. Spin around. So I'm just going to take some time to just kind of shift my weight and distribute it evenly between my right and left side. And then again, I'm going to focus on that length through the spine, lengthening through the neck, not letting the head hang and not jutting the chin up. Really just trying to find a nice long, neutral neck and spine. I'm just going to gently turn my thumbs forward slightly. You're going to notice that when you have your thumbs pointed forward like this, you're going to feel a little bit of openness and support structurally all the way from your rotator cuff down into your hand. When I turn the hand in like this, it starts to turn the whole shoulder. So I'm just going to keep a nice neutral expression, thumbs pointed forward in my tabletop. As I inhale, I'm really going to lift and lengthen through the spine, lifting the chest and tilting the tailbone away. And as I exhale, I'm going to tuck the tailbone under, around the spine. Let's come back to our intention and inhale with gratitude. Express gratitude with your movement. As you exhale, feel that deep release and letting go. And hold after your exhalation, really surrendering. If you'd like, you can even visualize and imagine a ball of light traveling up the spine as you breathe in into your cow position. Feel that ball of light come and rest right in your third eye point. And as you exhale, feel that ball of light follow the microcosmic orbit down through the belly, underneath the perineum, back to the tip of the tailbone. Exhale and hold as you complete the orbit. And inhale, gratitude and movement. Feel that ball of light rolling up the back to the crown of the head and resting in the third eye center. Exhale. Complete the cycle. Letting that ball of light draw down to the midline, down through the dantian center, down to the tip of the tailbone. Exhale and hold. Inhale. Continue for 5 to 7 more breaths. Imagine that you are being breathed, as if your body was this vessel or vehicle, like a teapot. Imagine the breath was the tea that was being served through you. Enjoy the in and out breath that you're being served. When you're ready, go ahead and just step your hands about 10 inches forward. Tuck the toes under and straighten the legs and walk the feet in until your heels can almost touch. Coming into this upside down letter V, downward dog. Keep the fingers, thumbs, and palms firmly pressed down. Feel free to pick the hands up and replant them. Imagine you're trying to really grab the ground like a basketball. Feel the support of the earth. And start to explore again gratitude and movement, pedaling out the feet, relaxing the head and neck. You can even come up onto the tips of the toes and shift your hips and heels to one side. This in turn will lengthen the opposite side, giving it a nice stretch. You can take a break from your down dog. You can lower back to your knees, toes tucked or untucked, and you can rest in child's pose. Now, if child's pose is aggravating for your knees, you can build a seat with your blocks, and you can use those blocks to help support you as you sit back and then explore coming down on the forearms, surrendering the crown to the earth. You can continue to work in down dog or join us in child's pose. We'll continue with this sequence for about 20 more seconds. You're in child's pose. Take your time to come back to down dog. Take one more breath cycle in down dog, stretching those hamstrings. Shake out the head and neck. And when you're ready, slowly walk the feet forward, up between the hips. Inhale up halfway. And then exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way back up to standing, rising up onto the tips of the toes. Exhale, plant the heels, lower the hands down by the side, and pause. Experience that stillness and surrender with your exhalation. Inhale, bring the hands in Anjali Mudra in front of the heart. Exhale, press the palms firmly together. Inhale, stretch the front of the body long, exploring a slight back bend, reaching up with your in-breath. And then exhale, swan dive forward, hinging from the hips. Try and keep the back long. You can keep a bend in the knees. Blocks, again, come in handy if you have them. Bringing hands to blocks or the floor. We're just going to hang here. With our inhalation, we're going to come up halfway, flowing like gentle ocean waves. Exhaling, surrendering forward, back into the valley, and swell between the breath. Inhaling up halfway, lengthen through the spine. Press the heels firmly down to really activate. And exhale, release again. Do that 5 more times. Decondition the rush. Enjoy slow and mindful movements. Really get the fullest extent involved with your breath. You're ready, inhale, come all the way back to standing. Heart open, hands reaching up. Exhale, palms touch the chest. Release the hands down. Good. All right. So we're going to move into a sort of a blend of a warrior one and a standing hamstring stretch, which is also sort of a Tai Chi movement called Phoenix Rises and Phoenix Falls. So we're going to go ahead and step. I'm going to bring my blocks in just to show you options with blocks. Of course, you don't have to use blocks if you don't wish. I'm going to step with my left foot forward first, meaning I'm going to stretch my left hamstring first. All right? I've got just about a hip distance stance, and you might be able to see my right foot is out on like a 45-degree angle. Okay? I'm not really trying to do anything too fancy with this warrior one. I'm keeping it fairly upright. If you want to take a wider stance, feel free. All right. So my hips are square. Right? Then I'm again going to imagine that microcosmic orbit line that starts at the tailbone and comes up the back and back down and again. So what we're going to do, we're going to exhale completely. I got my weight evenly distributed between left and right. I bring a little bend. You probably can't see it with the black of my pants here, but my knee is stacked just right over top of the heel, and it's not coming out in front. And I also want to make sure that this knee does not collapse inward, but stays right where it is over top the outside edge of that heel. Okay? So we're going to exhale completely. And then inhale, reach up into a warrior one. Reach your hands high, open your heart. And as you exhale, we're going to lift the left toes and pull the weight back into that right foot. And I'm going to exhale, just press the hands down like I was going to pull a sleeping bag or a big pair of pants over that left leg. And then I'm going to inhale, plant the foot, rise back up. I'm going to exhale. Up. Little bend in that right knee as I sink the hips back. Good. We're just going to keep that up. We'll spend about 90 seconds on each side. Really making sure to drop that left glute back. I'll bend the knee, that's the heel, work the one, five. Really feel yourself pressing your breath out the heel and toes. And then inhale, plant the foot and breathe through your foot. And offer the peak of that inhalation up. But make sure we don't hyperextend this knee either. So keep just a little bend, just a mindful presence around it. Let's do this twice more. In one, exhale. Then exhale, just bring the hand, chest, step that back foot forward. We'll go ahead and we'll switch and we'll practice on the other side. So when you're ready, you can go ahead and get back up to the top of your mat, right foot forward, just a comfortable step back with that left foot on a 45-degree angle. Hips are level and square. Excuse me. And that front knee is placed right over top of the heel. Inhale, nice and tall, warrior one. Exhale, shift the weight into the back foot, straighten the front leg, and pull the toes up, exhaling all the way down. Inhale, with that right foot planted, knee bent, all the way back up. Warrior one, Vajrasana one. Exhale. Breathing in gratitude, peace, harmony. Exhale. Surrender. Let's go ahead and do 3 more times on this side. 3 more cycles of breath. Continue to observe your breath, then observe yourself, observing the last breath. Experience that full release on your exhalation. Inhaling, rise to your warrior one, expression of your peaceful warrior. Exhale, hands touch in front of the chest and back foot steps forward. All right. So if you have a strap, a belt, a band, now's going to be a great time to grab one of those. Right, and we're just going to do a little bit of some shoulder mobility exercises here. Just some very simple mindful movements. Scoot you guys back just a bit. Okay. That works. So again, unrushed. With your hands a little wider than shoulder distance apart, and you can widen or bring them closer together as needed for you in your practice. Just going to shift the weight forward and back feet. When I feel grounded through my feet with a little bend in the knees, I'm going to again lengthen through that midline. Pull that band or strap or belt tight, and inhale, bring the band up and overhead. Exhale, explore bringing it around behind, and you might get stuck, and then just inhale, come on back up. Don't force anything, just very gradually. In and with gratitude, explore that movement. And you really will feel this opening across the chest, through the outside edges of the pectoral muscles, and even into the shoulders and rotator front shoulder. And up. If you want to explore some half moon side stretches here, you can. Now, if you didn't have a strap or band, you could just simply inhale, bring your hands up, and just keep pressing through the palms, and then exhale, slowly circle the hands around. So alternatively, if you don't have that prop, you can just make some big arm circles here. Let's just continue for another 20 or 30 seconds. Keep your core and hips engaged. Really just focus on that shoulder mobility. You want to pause and just explore a certain region of that range of motion, feel free. Feel what happens when you engage those trapezius muscles, those shoulder blades, and pull those together. Feel that engagement in the back and how that really changes the stretch. Ready, exhale, ground the hands back down in front. And we're going to go ahead and use this band now for a standing arm bind, which is going to be another really great shoulder stretch. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and throw this band over the right shoulder. Right. I'm going to go ahead and reach my right hand up and overhead. I'm just going to simply, I don't know if you can really see this, just extend just with the shoulder. Just really reaching and lengthening up out of the shoulder. Like you're really trying to reach your hand, raising it high. Now slow it down and do it 3 more times. Inhaling, reaching, feel your fingers. Feel that energy reaching out from the palms and wrists. Good. I'll go ahead and just relax that arm down and shake it out a little. Do the same thing on the other side here. Left hand up. And reach, just extending, raise the hand. We'll do it about 10 times total. Maybe 7 more, just really reaching. The last 3 we'll do really slow. slow it down. Good. Relax that left arm down with the arms both to shake. So cow face pose is actually a big hip opening pose, but it also has the element of the shoulder bind as well. And it's really nice to have the strap because it's a little bit hopeful that we'll always be able to just simply reach and grab a hold of the fingertips. So one arm at a time. So go ahead and reach that right arm back up. You should still have your band over that right shoulder. Reach your right arm back up. And as if you're going to perform a tricep stretch, bring that left hand up to the elbow and just grab a hold of that strap or band, or hold your shirt, or just keep your fingertips rested. Hold the arm as such. All right. I'm going to turn so you can see. I'm going to go ahead and reach this left hand around behind, palm facing away. So my palm will be facing you. I'm going to go ahead and try and walk the hands together, but this is really quite okay. So I can tell I have a few inches of strap in between the hands here. And then I'm just going to relax the shoulders down. If you feel your shoulders scrunching, maybe even just give yourself a little more slack. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And now also notice what happens in the core. As you're reaching, are you pressing your belly out and putting pressure on your back? If you are, re-engage the core. Make sure your posture comes right back to where you want it to. See if you can find a nice neutral expression for your face, jaw. 5 times. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Asking in gratitude. Slowly release the left hand first, turn the left palm forward, reach the right hand up, relax the right hand down, right palm forward. Both palms should be forward, hands relaxed by your side. Give them a good shake. Just take a little shake and bounce here. Great job. So we're going to go ahead and move to the other side here. So I now have the band or strap or belt over my left shoulder. Left hand is going to reach up. I'm going to start with this top arm, just a brief tricep stretch to get that left hand in place. I immediately notice that my solar plexus area lifted. I'm going to tuck my lower belly back in, keeping the core engaged, helping to protect my lower back. I've got my left hand on the strap. Right hand's going to reach around behind. We're going to be here for about 10 breaths total, so just go ahead and ground through the feet. Relax, enjoy your breath. Acknowledging that higher power and that presence of wisdom, light, the guru, the mover of darkness, the bringer of the light. All Gurudev. Salutations to that light and wisdom in each of us. Exhale, go ahead and release. Right hand first, walk forward. Left hand forward, shoulders, and shake the hands and arms out. Very good. So we'll move just into one balancing pose, and as always, if you need to, feel free to grab a chair or move over towards a wall, and feel free to use something to support you or modify as needed. We're going to come into two different variations of dancer's pose. The first one we're going to explore is going to be like a dancing Krishna pose. So I'm going to start by balancing on my left leg first, meaning my right foot will lift. So I'm going to lift this right knee, and I'm going to turn the right heel over, and I can lightly rest the right toes on the floor, or I can just point to the foot. So that right foot, the energy is kind of moving that way. The left hand's going to mimic that, but it's going to cradle the belly moving the other way. And then the other hand, the right hand, will come back over and across, and you can just look in the direction of the right big toe. Now, if we had two more arms, we could properly have Krishna playing his flute here. But for now, he's just dancing and looking back towards the earth. You want to bring in the visualization of the microcosmic orbit with that ball of light traveling up and down the spine. Or if you'd like to simply express gratitude, or even just keep the foot down and breathe here. If you lose your balance, don't worry. Take your time and set it back up again. Keep the hips level and facing forward. So you can just hold here for one more breath. Slowly bring the right foot across and release the hand, pressing the hands down. Inhale, palms turn up, heart opens, hands reach up high. Exhale, palms touch, little bend in the knees, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way back to standing. Exhale, hands rest in front of the heart. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and move on to the other side, meaning I'm going to shift the weight into the right leg. I didn't think about it before, but you could also bring a block across if you want the feeling of the elevated left foot, but without the full commitment of having to hold that foot in the air. You could always just, as we practice here, bring that left foot over and across and just place it on a block. Right hand's going to scoop across the belly, and it's going to keep pulling this energy up and around, which is going to be expressed through the left hand now overhead. Now you can turn that palm up or down and just observe the difference in that energetic quality. Stand with that right leg strong, pressing down, squeezing the thighs together here. Without breaking your peaceful concentration, enjoy one more breath, and then slowly come out of your dancing Krishna pose. Exhale, press the palms down. Inhale, one round of sun breathing to reset. release. Exhale, completing that cycle with the palms resting in front of the chest. Great job. So we're actually going to just take this time now to move down to the floor. And if you do have your blocks, we're just going to move into a brief forward fold. And I like to use the blocks here to support my knees by bringing the blocks right behind that bend in the knee. Excuse my feet here. I'll just turn real quick, show you with the blocks. So I have the blocks underneath the knees. And that really allows me to focus on my sitting bones and my hip flexors and getting all those settled in, because that's really going to be the foundation of this core stability. So we're going to move into a forward fold, but I also want to add in this element of core stability, like I just mentioned. Before we fold forward, I want to inhale. You can just extend the hands right out from in front of the shoulders. I want you to inhale and come back, staying on the sitting bones, but keep the back straight. Come back just about 10 or 15 degrees. Feel that work in the lower belly there. And then exhale, simply come back up to your seat in staff pose. Inhale, lean back. You can even bring the hands together if you want. You can also just rest the hands down by the sides or on your legs. And then exhale, use that core strength, those erector spinae and muscles in the lower back to come back up. Inhale. And back up, exhale. So that release and surrender. We're going to maybe even begin to reach the hands up and overhead as we inhale back. Press through the heels, stay grounded. And exhale now, maybe just reach forward about 5 to 10 degrees, starting to lengthen from the back. One thing you have to be very careful about as we start to flow forward and back is to never round the back. Always try and keep the spine erect, the crown of the head reaching up. So here we go. The in-breath, we lower back with control, not too far, and then exhale. Reach through the fingertips, press through the feet, and exhale. Reaching a little further forward each time, never forcing anything. Surrender, bring your intention into the forward. Now start to use your in-breath, stay in the forward fold, to simply come up about halfway or even 3/4 of the way. And then exhale, descend back into that fold. Really starting to work on lengthening that sacral and lumbar spine. If you have your strap or band again, here, you can always hook the feet too. Try and keep the shoulders relaxed when you use a strap this way. It's real easy to get the shoulders tense, but just keep them drawn back. And you can just keep this as a restorative fold. You can even deepen the bend in your knees so much with a couch pillow or a yoga bolster. And you could really enjoy a very restorative forward fold. Sit bones still grounded, just like right here. I'm going to continue to inhale, lengthen the spine, sitting up, and exhale, reaching forward. Twice, stay with your breath. When you're ready, inhale. Reach the hands up and overhead. Find that point of balance on the sitting bones. And we're actually just going to come up into a really brief boat pose. You can keep the arms out here in space, or you can just bring the hands underneath the bend in the knees or on the hamstrings. And without rolling onto your lower back, rock back just on your sit bones, those two knobby points under the glutes. Just gently walk the feet back, maybe lift one leg or both legs. Keep the spine lengthened, heart lifted. And we're just going to hold here for 4 breaths. The knees lifting and drawing in. 3 more breaths. And next exhalation, bend the knees, walk the heels forward, clear your mat of your props, but keep your blocks close by, keep your strap close by. Go ahead and just push them to the side, scoot yourself forward, and slowly come onto your back. Good. Knees bent, bring your feet just outside of your hips, and let the knees stack in towards each other. Now bring your thumbs and your first and or middle fingers together, making this triangle shape. Bring that to rest on your lower belly, palms face down, or keeping that same mudra, you can bring the hands up and over. Mudras are hand positions with intention to link subtle energy systems in the body and beyond the body. Hand mudras can be a whole focal point for meditation, experiencing different energy circuits within and around us. The earth has energy circuits and systems and flows. The sun and moon do too. Human beings are not all too different. It's inside of us also. This position is called constructive rest. It's really wonderfully nourishing and restorative for those lower vertebrae and sacral spine. Now, we're going to use the benefit of this constructive rest, and we're going to move into a restorative bridge pose using a block or bolster. So I'm going to bring my knees back apart, and I'm just going to bring my knees, feet, and hips all in a nice flowy line here. The block, I'm going to keep on its lowest, widest setting to bring underneath of my lower back about where my pant line is. So I'm going to come into this restorative bridge, and then I'm just going to draw the shoulder blades together and tilt the chin away from the chest. You might have to just sort of adjust the block to get it in that spot that's just right. In my experience, you don't want it so far down past the glutes or the tailbone, but you also don't want it all the way up into the arch of your lower back. So you really got to try and find that spot in between, really more towards the sacral spine. Not quite as far as the tailbone. So while you're here, just take a few moments, shoulder blades together, chin tilted up and away, heart open, to feel the flow of energy back towards the heart, back towards the throat and thigh root. Breathe in gratitude, and exhale, release, and surrender. Very good. When you're ready, bring your left knee in towards the chest. I like to keep my right foot on the floor here to really support my lower back and make sure I keep my hips level. But if you want to, very mindfully, just gently inch that right heel along the floor, experimenting with straightening the leg, if that feels right. You could also use your additional block, if you have it nearby, to support that right knee while it's extended. But since I don't have that second block right nearby, I'm just going to walk that right foot back up, readjust the block. I'm going to keep my right knee bent here. I'm going to take a nice big breath in. Actually, before we do, the one other benefit, just in case you're interested as to why you might extend that right leg. So I'll demonstrate with my left leg. As I extend this left leg long or right leg long, I'm really starting to lengthen this hip flexor. The little bit of elevation from that block is just a supportive back bend to where this can all start to lengthen, really start to stretch. Our hip flexors work so hard every time we lift our knee to take a step, every time we lift our leg at all. Right now, I'm going to really focus more so on this left hamstring stretch than the right hip flexor stretch. So left knee hugs in towards the chest. Make sure that your left glute really engages and draws forward and down. That'll help keep the hips level. I'm going to take a big breath in. And as I exhale, I'm going to point the toe and straighten the leg. Inhale, I'm going to flex the foot and bend the knee. Exhale, straighten and flex. Exhale. If at any point the block makes this a little too intense for that lower back, you can always remove it. You do a total of 10, so about 7 more. Pointing, inhale, flex, exhale, straighten. Slowly and mindfully, lead with the foot. Imagine the foot was another part of you that could reach and grab, like, flex, reach, grab. Or 2 more. Good. Bend that left knee. Now drop your arms out to the side. All right. And now just using the stability and strength of the hip and this leg and the core, just drop your left knee out to the side and then bring it back to center. Do this 10 times. Just about a foot out to the side and back to center. Keep pressing your palms away from you or keep your palms up. Keep the movement slow and steady. Don't rush through these. One more time. Keep down the side. Exhale, return. Lower the left foot. Now let's go ahead and just press up into a bridge pose. Bring the hands back to the side, shoulder blades together. Really press the hips up, squeeze and engage through the glutes. Drive the heels down and try and pull your heels towards you. You probably notice immediately that difference between right and left side. Readjust the block as needed or remove the block if you wish. And then slowly come back down. Just take a moment. Feel that nice release in the sacral spine if you're using the block. Just feel that release and support of the floor. Again, you have the option to straighten your left leg or keep it bent. Hug the right knee into the chest. Full breath in and exhale, straighten, point. Inhale, flex, straighten, point. More time. Exhale, straighten, point. Inhale. Arms out to the side, arms stretched long, press through palms. Use the strength and stability of hips and core. And inhale, open out to the side. And exhale, reset. Slow and steady, 9 more times. 9 full breath cycles. Pauses in gently, twice more. Slowly release that right foot down, press up into bridge, shoulders together, and remove the block. Slowly lower down, hug both knees into the chest. If you wish, you can tuck the chin into the chest. Take a gentle rock forward and back, and side to side. And lower the feet. We'll move into a lying down twist next. So arms are to come back out to the side. We're going to use that core stability. Draw the knees up over top of the hip flexors. Try and keep the shins parallel with the floor. And if you have your block close by, bring that block in between the knees and squeeze the legs tight together. See right now how the knees are perfectly level with the edge of that block. Pay attention to that. Keep your shoulder blades on the floor. Take a nice full breath in. And then exhale, make your way into the twist, dropping both knees over to the left. Notice how that right knee wants to draw back from the block, that edge of the block. Continue to try and press that right knee forward so it stacks. You can use the left hand to help secure it in that position. If it doesn't want to stack, don't ever force it. Complete the twist, you can look over your right shoulder. Head and neck comes back center first. exhaling complete. And then inhale, bring the knees slowly back to center. If you want to, you can tap the heels or toes, reset the hips and shoulders, and prepare to twist to the other side. For hips, flexions parallel to the floor. Try your best to keep those knees level as you drop them over. Complete the twist by looking over left shoulder. And head and neck come back first. Exhale completely. Go back to center of the set as you're ready. Lower the feet down. With your block inside. So we're going to transition into our relaxation and savasana. So you're welcome to just lie down prone. You can even lie down face down, which is sort of a nice change of pace, and you can just turn the head and neck, taking time to alternate cheeks also, coming into advasana instead if you'd like. Otherwise, feel free to join in a seated meditation. If you really want just a nice, deep letting go and relaxation, you're welcome to meditate lying down as well. Just spend about the next couple of minutes to center and ground as we close our practice. You're stretched long in savasana. Just feel that release through all of your extremities. Feel all points of the body resting on the floor. Turn to your intention, mantra, or whatever that focal point for you has been during the practice. Feel yourself open and alive, secure here, resting on the let it surrender it each out breath. Imagine the breath were flowing through you like tea. Rest and observe your breath. Exhale completely and bring your full attention out breath. Pause after you've exhaled completely and hold. You're ready to breathe in, receive the breath, hold. Surrender to its effortless incoming. Slowly move and stretch and take your time to mindfully come back up to a seated position as where we began. Continue to surrender moment by moment, breath by breath, to life's flow. Fully attentive, present in your comfortable seat. Exhale again and surrender. Bring palms, touch. We'll close our class one more time with the sound of Om outside. Going Shanti. Thank you all so much for taking this time, for your well-being,